me again, and I don't know what it is, but by the time I sit down to film these videos, I'm always really, really hot. Does anyone else get that? I don't know if it's like nerves or something, but I get really, really hot. So if I look red or, God forbid, sweaty, I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm really hot. Anyway, the background has changed because I'm filming this video from my bed. I decided it would be easier to have the books around me. So behind me you have my Japanese kanji study poster, so feel free to study some Japanese as you watch. And what you're going to see now is my March book haul, because although we're well into April now, I did buy all of these in March. They just took ages to arrive, some of them. So yes, March book haul goodness. So kicking things off with the English language books first, I have Stop What You're Doing and Read This, which is a collection of essays by authors such as Mark Haddon, Michael Rosen, Zadie Smith, Jeanette Winterson, et al. And it's basically a collection of essays, 10 essays about the importance of reading and the value of books and just the role that reading plays in our lives in all forms. And if this book was not made for us of the BookTube community, then I don't know what was. So this might be one that you want to check out. Also, it's a really nice paperback. It's published by Vintage UK Random House. And we talk quite a lot about nice floppy American paperbacks, but this is an example of a very nice stiff English paperback. But I don't know, the pages feel really thick, and it's really nice to hold. And not very floppy. Well, it looks a little bit floppy, but it's not, especially if you compare it next to a truly floppy American paperback there. Anyway, yes, there's that one. Next up, because I've entered my last 2 months in Japan, I decided that I wanted to read and review some Japan-based fiction, so I picked up Stormdancer by Jay Cristoff. This is book 1 in the Lotus War trilogy or series, I'm not sure yet. And this sounds really interesting. It has a quote on the front by Patrick Rothfuss, who wrote The Name of the Wind and The Wise Man's Fear, both very, very well-respected fantasy novels. And the quote says, "What's that? You say you've got a Japanese steampunk novel with mythic creatures, civil unrest, and a strong female protagonist? I'm afraid I missed everything you said after Japanese steampunk." That's all I really needed to hear. And that's all I needed to hear. Japanese steampunk sounds awesome. And if Patrick Rothfuss liked it, that's good enough for me. The next book you may have already seen if you watched my last video, which was my March wrap-up in April TBR. It is Hyperbole and a Half by Allie Brosh. This was is a very popular online blog by an American woman in her 20s who writes about her life in a very funny way and illustrates it with crude but really evocative and funny pictures like this. So this was a very quick read, which I needed last month, and it is laugh out loud funny. I read this on the train and I laughed out loud. As I said, it's really, really funny. Really heavy though, so carrying this around was not the smartest idea, but just, I don't know, really nice production quality, and it's really good. I'm excited to see what she publishes next, because I like having the blog excerpts, and these are basically the most popular excerpts from the blog, and I like having those in this, you know, hard copy format. Oh, and it says on the front, unfortunate situations, flawed coping mechanisms, No. Unfortunate situations, flawed coping mechanisms, mayhem, and other things that happened. And she writes about some serious things as well. She writes about depression, but she's so humorous that it's not a depressing approach to depression. It's heartfelt and not dismissive, but it's still humorous. And I really recommend this book. Next is another book you will have seen in a recent video of mine. I think it was the I Love Spring book tag, and this one answered the question, find a book on your shelf with many colours, and the one I chose was this one here, A Tale for the Time Being by Ruth Ozeki. This is another book that I bought so that I could read some Japan-based fiction or Japan-influenced fiction. And I want to read you the back of this because it sounds really interesting. This is adult fiction, by the way. On a remote island in the Pacific Northwest, a Hello Kitty lunchbox washes up on the beach. Tucked inside is the diary of a 16-year-old Japanese girl named Nao Yasutami. Ruth, a writer who finds the lunchbox, suspects that it is debris from Japan's 2011 tsunami. Once she begins to read the diary, Ruth quickly finds herself drawn into the mystery of Nao's fate. Meanwhile, in Tokyo, Nao, uprooted from her home in the US, bullied at school and watching her parents spiral deeper into disaster, has decided to end her life. But first she wants to recount the story of her great-grandmother, a 104-year-old Zen Buddhist nun, in the pages of her secret diary. I think that sounds amazing, and this has, I don't know, just really good quotes from the Washington Post says tantalizing, Oprah magazine says a spellbinding tale. It looks really good. And yes, it was a 2013 Man Booker Prize finalist, so what more can I tell you? The next book I kind of wish I'd shown you at the beginning because it doesn't fit with anything else so far. It is a picture book, a children's picture book called Where's Spot, that I used to love as a child. I had a hardback version of this, which I think I lost because I used to live on a boat, and that boat sank, so basically everything from my childhood, including my childhood books and my dolls, was lost. And this, oh god, I love this book so much still. So it's called Where's Spot by Eric Hill, and didn't Eric Hill write The Hungry Caterpillar? Am I making that up? I may be making that up, ignore me. But anyway, so it starts off, naughty Spot, it's dinner time, where can he be? Is he behind the door? And basically you search for Spot throughout the book. No, he's not behind the door. And then, oh, I used to love this one, the grandfather clock with a snake in it. It's so wonderful. And if I'm kind, I'll give this to my youngest niece, but I also really want it for myself. Lastly, for my English books section, I actually won a giveaway weeks ago now, which was held by that nerdy girl Gabby. She sent me a really sweet card, and I felt really bad. Well, I felt happy when I won the giveaway, but also bad for her because it was for these two massive heavy hardbacks, and I'm in Japan. So I tried to make it easy for her by giving her a Spanish address as well, so my mum could just receive them for me, but she decided to just send them to Japan, so I'm guessing either the price difference between the two international destinations was negligible, or she was just feeling very, very kind, because she sent them here, and yeah, I now have a hardback copy of Book 1 in the Mortal Instruments by Cassandra Clare, it's a City of Bones, and I also have Book 2, City of Ashes, and this is my favourite because it has the author's signature in it. And I'm on it, well, first I should say, Cassandra Clare, you are really lazy with your autographs, but I guess you're popular, so we'll forgive you. But I can't believe I won these. How cool is this? 2 hardback books, and thank you, Gabby. Next, we're on to the Japanese language section, starting with some manga. I finally finished collecting the Seven Ghosts series, and I have to be honest and say that I know much more about the anime for this, but I really love the anime, and the manga looks awesome, so I decided that it was one of the few that I was allowed to complete before I go home. It has 17 volumes, and currently I believe is finished, but who knows if they'll change their minds. It was a bit of a cash cow, like a really popular one. And this is set in a fantasy world, a sort of a militarized fantasy world with supernatural magic, and it follows, I'll show that, this is the main character, Tato Klein, when he was a child. He looks like this now, and he's basically a former slave amnesiac, and he falls in with this group of bishops when he sort of takes sanctuary from the army that he is a part of, and the Seven Ghosts well, the bishops are these 7 ghosts, and I'm not spoiling anything for you because I'm pretty sure you'll find out in the first volume, except that I'm not holding the first volume, so I can't check. So volumes 1 to 11 are over there, which doesn't help you at all, I know. But I finished this, and I'm very happy about that. Another manga I let myself complete was Happy Maddie, because this was only 10 volumes, and I managed to find them for either 105 yen or 200 yen, although tax went up last week, so now nothing is 105 yen at Book Off, it would be 108 yen now. So yeah, tax went from 5% to 8%, I think. Anyway, you don't care. So anyway, this manga is about 2 people who get married kind of for convenience, and they fall in love after they get married. But they fall in love very sweetly. They're both extremely stubborn, and I just love the art in this series. Can I find a good example of the art? Well, there's no bad examples, but I can't put my finger on a very, very good one right now. Basically, it's just what I like. It's very clean, kind of sharp, and it's sweet. I love this one, and it's really easy to read. If you're studying Japanese and you're wondering what genre it would be an easy read to practice, romance is really easy. The fantasy is the harder stuff, like 7 Ghosts would be harder. Oh, incidentally, 7 Ghosts art is much darker, much more heavy-handed, but it goes with the storyline. So I still like it. What else do I have? Oh, this may be the coolest manga I have ever bought. Check it out. This is Sherlock, and it's literally the first episode. Is it only the first episode? I think it's The Woman in the Pink Coat, or Study in Pink. What was it called? I love the BBC. Is it the BBC? Oh god, I'm doubting everything. Basically, because I watch everything on the internet and never on DirecTV because I'm not in England, I don't know what the channel is. I'm pretty sure it's BBC. And god, I love this series so much. I love Benedict Cumberbatch. He's awesome. And this basically is the first episode. The character designs are taken from the actors themselves, although they've been a bit uncharitable towards Watson. I think Watson looks a bit... Anyway, so there's Watson and there's Sherlock, and I'm so excited about this. I did not know this existed. I just saw it and I thought, okay, you're coming home with me. And I don't know, I think it would be cool to read something that I already know so well, because you do not want to know how many times I've rewatched every episode of Sherlock. God knows how many years until we get another season of that. So next I got volume 1 of Nichijou, and this means daily or everyday, and this sounds really eccentric. There is a boy who travels to school. It's about a group of school children, and there's a boy who travels to school by deer with his butler. There's a girl who is a robot and was made by an 8-year-old girl scientist, and it's basically about their school antics. And I imagine it'll be quite easy reading as well. I've been meaning to pick this up for ages. Then I also got Gravitation X volumes 1 and 2. I have the whole Gravitation series in English from years ago, because this was one of my first animes and my first manga, and it's a male love story, but it's nothing too heavy or too graphic, and it's about this boy here, Shuichi, who is, well, in the first series he was an aspiring rock performer, and that first series basically charts his rise to fame, and also the birth of his relationship with a writer called Yuki, who is here, who's kind of way out of his league and very distant and cold and with quite a tragic past, but they're really funny. The art is really scatty. I don't necessarily recommend these for beginner reading practice, just because the bubbles are all over the place and scatty. But they're cute. Can you see that? There. They're cute. Anyway, excited about those. I had to buy them online though, because I couldn't find them in store. Then I also bought this, mainly because it was a completed duology, and I figured if I can't treat myself to a duology, what can I treat myself to? It's called Lovenista, and oh, they haven't written the name in English, so I can't actually read it. Names are really difficult to read in Japanese. Normal words are okay, but names are difficult. For me, anyway. And this is a trashy little romance. This is basically the kind of thing that makes me do a double take when I'm in book off, because I walk behind a very sweet looking Japanese schoolgirl. She's reading a manga at the stacks, and I walk past, maybe glance over her shoulder, and I realise there's some rampant sex scene being read, and it gets me every time. Shameless, but the art is really pretty. And can I multitask this? Yeah, pretty art. Honestly, my camera's so far away, I don't know how much you're going to be able to see, but I got those online. They were cheap too. Although this one's faded by the sun and I couldn't be bothered to send it back to them. So I also got volume 4 of Saiyuki Gaiden. This is the prequel series to the whole Saiyuki world. Saiyuki is the legend of... It's based on The Journey West, which is a Chinese novel, I believe, about the spread of Buddhism into the West. And it's by Kazuya Minekura, who just has taken it and made it her own with some kick-ass characters, and her art, I swear, she started off so scrappy and her art has just gotten so good. It is quite graphic though, so you will find blood, death, but it's worth it because the characters are so cool. Like, this is Son Goku. He's basically, he's the monkey who was imprisoned under a mountain for 500 years, I believe, as punishment from the heavens. So wrap your head around that. And these two guys are demons, although at this point they're not demons, I don't think, they're gods. And this guy here, whom I love, I'm not going to tell you anymore, you just need to be enlightened. You need to enlighten yourself about Saiyuki because you'll thank yourself. And the last thing I got for manga, well, sort of the last thing I got for true manga was volumes 7, 5 and 6 of Kimi ni Todoke, or From Me to You, which is by, nope, I can't read that. But I'll put the information in the, I can't read the name, I can't read it, I'll put it down below. Again, I said in my book unhaul that I might get rid of this series, which I've now got up to volumes 11 in, which is stupid, but what to do. I'm right in the middle of packing now and it's making me nervous. So maybe I'll keep these, maybe I won't, but it is a really cute series about a girl who is kind of the school pariah because she looks quite scary and she has no social skills. They call her Sadako, which is the name of the girl in The Ring, you know, the one that has like the long black hair and the white dress. She kind of looks like Anna dressed in blood and she just sort of slithers everywhere. They call her Sadako, even though her name is Sawako. And yeah, it's really cute, but oh, it's so cute. They're finding their way to each other. It's basically a high school romance with lots of social ineptitude. I love that word, ineptitude. Okay, next. Sort of manga-ish. I got these two by Sakura Momoko, and she is the one who writes the Chibi Maruko-chan books. And this basically is sort of Chibi Maruko-chan 4-frame comics. What do you call them? I'm sure they have an actual name, but like they're complete 4-frame sort of windows into life, Japanese life, which is why I like them. I remember when I was studying Japanese, we used a couple of these. Oh, and this one I got because it has colour. Ah, look how pretty it is! Colour! And this was Oh, actually, this one was 350 yen, and this one was 300 yen. I must have been feeling rich that day. But, oh god, they're so cute! They're so cute. But, I swear, these are nothing compared to what's coming up. Because all these are by Sakura Momoko as well, and she's so funny. This one here is called Sekai Achikochi Meguri. Okay, my camera just cut out, but I'm not going to stop fangirling. Yes, this gorgeous book by Sakura Momoko, the Achikochi Meguri, which means sort of here and there around the world. And the inside looks like this. It has a beautiful map illustration with in annotations. And look at the cover. Look at it. Isn't that the sweetest thing you've ever seen? I love Sakura Momoko books. They're so cute. Oh, I'll waste my own time putting that back on. And this one here is Momoko no 21 Seiki Nikki. So this is basically her 21st century diary. Momoko's 21st century diary. And the outside looks like that. And then the inside looks like that. And then the outside, inside the cover, looks like this. Isn't that so cute? God, books are happiness. I will not regret buying these. Even when it comes time to pay to ship my boxes, I will not regret buying these. And this one here, this one is so divine. This is called Momoko no Tondemo Obouken, Daibouken. So basically, this is Momoko's amazing big adventure, or Tondemo. Incredible big adventure. Okay, so I think this is Momoko's incredible big adventure. And look inside, look at that! I love small hardbacks. They are... I love you. Yep, get in my eyeballs. Get in my eyeballs, I want to read you. Oh, and the last one is Hitorizumo. So this is basically the lone sumo wrestler, or the single sumo. And it's so cute. Not only does it have an inside print of a little chubby sumo wrestler. Well, actually he wouldn't be chubby for a sumo wrestler, would he? He would just be a sumo wrestler. And then this kind of plain but still really, really sweet inside cover. Oh, so cute. Alright, we're nearly there, guys. This video is going to be super long. Oh shit! Oops! There you go, you had a swear word. Actually, I forgot to include this manga series. This is Vassalord, volumes 1 to 7, and this is another boys love series. And before you go and think that's all that I'm into, it's not, but I do like it. It's about... this guy here is a vampire. I think he's a very sort of strong head vampire kind of thing. And this one here is basically... basically, there's no basic about it. He is a cyborg vampire mix, and this guy is his master. And he also works for the Vatican, like slaying vampires, I think. So, but he lives on this guy's blood. So, interesting relationship, and that's kind of why I like these male love stories, because I don't know, they just tend to have a better storyline. And I got all of these. They look stunning. The art looks kind of gothic-y. Gothic-y, that's a new word. Yeah, so again, I don't actually know if you can see anything that I'm showing you, but I'm looking forward to reading this one, which is unfortunate because I'm not going to be able to read it for God knows how long. But I have the whole thing and it's so pretty and so cheap. This was 100 yen for every single volume here. Well, no, 105 yen each. So what? 735 yen for the whole thing. That is an absolute steal. And I will not begrudge sending this one home either. 2 more left. This is the first book in the Princess Diaries by Meg Cabot, and I actually accidentally bought book 3 in a really nice paperback edition, which I preferred, but I included in my unhaul video as a sacrifice. This is pretty plain inside, but that's nice. I actually really preferred the paperback, but I found this one for cheap on the internet, and I'm gonna sacrifice the paperback, as I said in my unhaul video, which I'll link below because I've mentioned it quite a lot. Have I mentioned it quite a lot? Well, anyway, whatever I've mentioned, I'll link below. So yes, first book in the, I want to say Vampire Diaries, Princess Diaries, and I also bought The Bear Nobody Wanted by Janet and Alan Alberg. I like to buy things that I can check my understanding of by going out and easily purchasing the English language version. Plus, it's cute, little hardback, and it was 105 yen, so no complaints there. And yeah, that's, like, I wish I'd thought this through and organised them a bit more so I could just stack them up and you'd be all impressed by my thumbnail, but I think it'll take too long and too many arms. So, oh, and now they're the wrong way anyway. Oh, you know what happened in this video, you saw. So, oh, that's it, I can't do it anymore. Basically, those are all my books. Now I'm back to being hot again. Really back to being hot again. Thank you very much for watching my video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you, bye!